shine your sink, get dressed to shoes, do a 27 thing fling and ready your launch pads. If you have no idea what I am talking about, or you are super familiar with these FlyLady routines, I am going to break down and simplify the whole FlyLady system for you, as well as tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly of my experience trying FlyLady. When I started my research into FlyLady, the first thing I did was head to her website. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I thought I had gotten into a DeLorean and traveled back to 1999 because let me tell you, this website is old school. I also signed up for the emails and downloaded the apps, and just like the website, if 1999 had an app, this would be it. So at first, I was feeling really overwhelmed and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, but I have finally wrapped my head around it, and for the last few months, I have been the perfect fly baby and done it exactly how Marla has set out. And I have found that there are some amazing parts of FlyLady, but there are also some parts that may not work for everyone. I have condensed it into 3 simple parts of what I think the FlyLady system really is. The first part is your morning routine. So this is going to include getting up and making your bed, getting dressed to lace up shoes, doing a swish and swipe on your bathroom and toilet, and unstacking your dishwasher. So all of these things are super helpful for the morning, as well as doing 1 load of laundry. The second part of the system is sort of what you will do at another point during the day. And this is where things get a little bit more complicated. So they have a daily focus, which is the same every single week, and that is things like a weekly home blessing, looking after your plants, running errands, doing anti-procrastination things that you've been putting off, getting ready for a date night, spending time with your family, and also looking after your spirit. So all of those things take place every week, and they are the same Monday to Sunday every single week. But then we have the zone cleaning. So the zones change every single week, and you have a focus for the whole week. So those zones are starting with like your entryway, porch area, then moving into your kitchen, then your bedrooms and bathrooms, your master bedroom, and then finally your living room. So all of these things are changing from week to week. Now, of course, you're covering off some of these things in your weekly home blessing, but this is where you get down into the real nitty-gritty of deep cleaning, and there is exact steps on all of the zone cleaning with each week. The third part of the FlyLady system is the night routine. So this is where you are going to shine your sink again, make sure that everything is done in your kitchen, ready for the next day. You're also going to ready your launch pad, which includes sort of collating any items that you'll need in your bag so that you're ready for when you need to leave the house. You can also set out your clothes for the following day so you'll know exactly what you need to wear in the morning. And also just doing a quick 15-minute tidy so that when you get up, your house is practically reset every single night. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What do I love about FlyLady? What would I leave behind? And what can you do to make it work for you? Let's start with the good. I think that the daily routines, the morning and night routine, are amazing. So if I had to suggest for anyone, if you're going to get started with the FlyLady, definitely start first by getting that morning and nighttime routine happening with however it looks for you, and then building off that. I also love that she is a huge advocate of letting go of perfectionism. I think perfectionism stops us from getting started. It adds to our overwhelm, and we just don't get as much done when we're trying to do everything perfectly. By letting go of that and just focusing on whatever we can get done in a period of time is super helpful no matter where you are on your cleaning, decluttering journey. One thing I love about the FlyLady, particularly for people who are going through mental health struggles, is sometimes we get what I like to call stress paralysis. And it's where you just don't know what to do next. You don't know where to start. And I think FlyLady, for the most part, can provide a way of knowing the next right thing to do. When you're getting stuck, you can refer back to those notifications, those emails, and know the next right thing. Another thing that I think FlyLady is really useful for is getting out of survival mode. And so the FlyLady has lots of great resources to move out of that survival mode and start sort of planning out ahead of time. And her simple routines like setting up a launch pad, using your calendar, and looking at what's coming ahead are really useful for helping you move out of that survival mode and into planning for the future. It keeps it really achievable, and just starting with making sure you've got what's right for the next day is crucial. I have looked at a lot of different cleaning routines, and I'm going to go through some of those in future videos. But one thing I really liked about FlyLady, and this might be something that you don't like about FlyLady, but for me, I think encapsulating more of a whole life view is really helpful. So taking on things like errands and getting yourself ready, I feel create a really good foundation for making sure that you can do those other things like deep cleaning your home. And so by looking at it from a whole picture view rather than just cleaning all on its own, I think that can be really helpful. Now, it's probably not going to come as a surprise to you that I don't think that everything about the FlyLady is fantastic.
I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it.
So let's get into some of the things that I didn't love about it. I have had a lot of experience of working not just in my own home, but also in others' homes. So I'm going to point out some of the things in the FlyLady system that I think a lot of people might struggle with, or might make you feel like you're a failure because you couldn't get this part of FlyLady right, when it's just that maybe these systems aren't quite right for you. Number one, the thing that I struggled with the most, and I think that probably is where a lot of people will fall over with the FlyLady system, and that is the zone cleaning. And although I can see how it would be helpful to get through your house in a short period of time and making sure you're touching all those different areas, the biggest thing that let me down was that it didn't feel organic. I wasn't hitting those areas that I felt needed to be addressed first. It also didn't account for things like accidents. So if one of my kids had a big spill in the kitchen and it took me half an hour to clean it up, I then still had to do zone cleaning on top of that. It also left me sort of leaving jobs that I would normally have done straight away because I wasn't in that zone that week, or doing double the amount of work because I just couldn't stand to have this mess in another zone. And so for me, this part really fell over. Now this one I'm sure is going to be a little bit controversial, because in my research I did see that it is one of the golden rules of FlyLady. But if you have been around on my channel for any length of time, you know that I refer to myself as a barefoot soul. And that is just because I live in the tropics. I've grown up with no shoes practically my whole life. And so wearing shoes in my home was a no-go for me. I completely understand the sentiment of making sure that you're getting up and getting ready. I don't personally find that wearing shoes is necessary, but if it works for you, more power to you. However, if you are like me and can get up and get going just fine, I think it's fine to leave the shoes off. One of the biggest things that I think let FlyLady down is it can feel really overwhelming and complicated at the start. One of the reasons why this happens is that nowhere on the FlyLady website is there a snapshot of what the whole system will look like for you. And I understand that maybe the intention of doing this way is so that you don't feel overwhelmed, and so they sort of spoon feed you the information as you need it. However, my brain, and maybe yours too, doesn't work like that. I need to sort of see it as a whole picture and then work backwards to what I need to do today. Now let's get down to the ugly. Now this is not specific for FlyLady, but of any cleaning and organizing, scheduling, or routine system that you have come across. The reality is there is not one size that fits all, and there's also no magic wand that is going to stop you from actually having to clean your house. So there are different tools that we can use, but whenever you start these systems, please, if you take nothing else away from this video, take this. These are great things to try and see if they work for you. It is not a pass or fail situation. So you did not fail FlyLady just because not every portion of her system works for you. And I think that sometimes with these systems, it can become a real downward spiral, particularly if you have mental health struggles that you feel like everybody else can make this work except for you. When what might actually be happening is that there are portions of this that might work great and there are other sections that just aren't a good fit. So when you're going into trying out these different routines, go in with the frame of mind of seeing what works and flinging the rest. One thing that I came across time and time again when I was reading about FlyLady was that it did feel like this magical tool that you could use that was going to fix everything. And I think for a lot of women, it probably has been the lifesaver that they needed to get out of that feeling of overwhelm. However, it can also be a little bit deceiving. There is no wand that you can deep clean your house in 15 minutes a day. And I don't think that that is a true representation of what it's going to take. There were days where, I'm going to be completely honest, it was upwards of 3 hours to complete the FlyLady routine in full. By the time I had done a weekly home blessing, zone cleaning, as well as cooking and the general morning and nighttime routines, it takes time. So please do not feel like there is anything wrong with you if A, you don't have enough time to use this system every day, or B, you're finding that is taking more time than what they prescribe in these different systems. It is going to take how long it is going to take, and there is no magic wand that is going to clean our house for it, but if you have one, I would love to see it.